it's not selfish to put yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one had ever said that to me. It took me a while, but I tell her, if you don't fill your own cup, you're not going to be able to fill anyone else's. So put yourself first. Think about yourself first.
Welcome to the Uplift Her Leadership Series, a segment on the Self-Care Goddess podcast, a special space where holistic self-care meets high performance and the feminine leads with grace, power, and purpose. This podcast is your pause in a productivity-driven world, a space to reset, regulate, and reconnect with feminine wisdom and visionary leadership. I'm your host, Rita Savoya, holistic nutritionist, trauma-informed breathwork coach, and founder of Breathwork Barista. Each week, you'll hear soul-expanding stories and thought-provoking conversations with women leaders, founders, and change makers who are redefining success and what it means to lead with heart. These are the conversations we need to create the future we desire, rooted in self-care, integrity, and soul-aligned leadership. Breathe in your power. Breathe out the overwhelm. And let's begin. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Self-Care Goddess podcast with a very special guest today for our Uplift Her Leadership Series, part of the segment that I am doing to help highlight wisdom, stories, journeys of amazing women and to share them with other amazing women. So before we get into the conversation with our beautiful guest here today, I invite everyone to tune out the outer world for just a few moments and tune in with yourself. If you feel comfortable lowering your gaze or even closing your eyes for just a couple of moments, go within and just check in by being more present. And how do we do that? Just following the inhales coming in and then letting them go either through the nose or through the mouth. You choose today, whatever feels comfortable. And just noticing the breaths flowing in and out of your body. And deepening those inhales, perhaps counting to 4 or 5, whatever feels comfortable for you. And then deepening those exhales, even just a little bit more than your inhales. So going at your own pace, watching, noticing if you have any tension, any stress, any tightness in any part of your body. I invite you to channel the exhales. So when you exhale, channel those exhales to those areas and allow those exhales to soften, perhaps even relax those tense areas. I now invite you to channel the breaths into the area of the heart. So allow the inhales and exhales to energize this beautiful organ that's keeping you alive. And as you continue these heart-focused breaths, I now invite you to visualize someone that you're grateful for today. Visualize this person as if they were right here in front of you. I invite you to acknowledge them and send them all the love, the gratitude, and the appreciation for being in your life. Radiate this gratitude from your heart to their heart. I now invite you to turn the attention onto you and give yourself some love, gratitude, and appreciation for taking just a few moments to check in today with this quick coherence technique. On your next inhale, flutter your eyes open. And welcome back. Welcome to us. Welcome to Uplift Her, a special leadership segment of the Self-Care Goddess podcast, where high-performing women share their wisdom, lessons, and stories to inspire the next generation of leaders. Today's guest is the embodiment of serenity, soul, and style. Anu Bhat is the founder of The Rural Painter, an art curator and world traveler who's on a mission to bring the spiritual essence of Southeast Asia into homes around the world. Through her thoughtfully curated collection of original artworks from places like Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, and Nepal, she transforms interiors into calm, culturally rich sanctuaries, and in the process, supports the communities of artists behind the brush. But don't be fooled by the peaceful vibes. Anu is an energy powerhouse, a certified Reiki practitioner who uses EFT tapping and aligns her home with Feng Shui. She is all about creating beauty and flow inside and out. Her guilty pleasure, a little retail therapy, and hey, who could blame her? And if her life had a soundtrack, it'd be Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield, a fitting anthem for someone who believes life is a beautiful, evolving canvas. So grab a coffee maybe or tea, open your heart, and let's dive into Anu's story of purpose, passion, and the power of connection through art. Welcome, 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 Anu. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be here.
Yes, me too, me too. So when we had our sort of conversation before this one, I was super fascinated with your story and how you got into doing what you're doing today. So do you mind resharing that for the podcast?
Absolutely. So I've always been attracted to art, the stories behind the art, which reflect the artist's stories. So I wanted to dive deeper into that. My background is public relations and marketing and television and advertising, but I was always drawn to the world of art. And I had the opportunity to live in Singapore for some time. I traveled through Southeast Asia, saw the beautiful works of art that were being created there. When I returned to the US, I had a light bulb moment during a meditation to incorporate the rural painter and give these artists a platform and share their work across the world with a Western audience. And I had a vision of bringing beauty into people's homes and offering a platform to these artists. And that's how the Rural Painter was born.
I love it. And so I'm just curious in terms of the meditation, were you asking for clarity, direction, or did it just sort of come to you?
So I'm always asking for guidance. I'm asking for my path, how I can help the people around me, my family. So answers usually come to me. And I was in Singapore for 4 years. When I returned to the US, I had already sold my previous company. I was looking for something new related to my passion, and I was asking for guidance, and it came to me in a light bulb moment.
So beautiful. Do you have signs that you watch out for, or is it mostly like guidance through the meditation, or is it also tapping into your guides? I'm just curious.
So I'm always open. I stay open. I don't want, an opportunity to knock on the door and the door is closed. So I'm definitely open to receiving. I meditate twice a day, so I definitely put that out there. They're just 10-minute meditations, but I ask for guidance in the morning on how I'd like my day to proceed and ask for guidance there, and then give gratitude in the night for a wonderful day. And I always believe that something wonderful is about to happen. So I wait for that to happen.
Yeah, you're almost expecting it. And where did Reiki and EFT, emotional freedom technique tapping, when did that come about?
So as I said, I'm always open to exploring new spiritual things. I've been making vision boards for over 10 years. So I have a whole pile of them. I will write letters to myself in January, seal them, and then open them December 31st to see how my year has progressed. And in those letters, I do write things as though I've already achieved them. So I've always been open to this realm, so to speak. So when I did learn about EFT tapping online, I was intrigued that, you can shift energies within yourself. When we have a low moment, acknowledge it, but move out of it. And there are tools that one can use. So I'm always fascinated by these things. So I do EFT tapping just to maybe change my mood. Reiki is something I was fascinated by, the ability to be able to harness the energy of the universe to help heal. So I became a Reiki practitioner during my time in Singapore. And I think it's just fascinating that we all have that ability within ourselves. We don't have to look outside. We are actually able to heal ourselves as well. Just like the meditation practice you just did with us, and you asked us to send the energy to any part of our body where we're feeling a little discomfort. So I did just that because I've hurt my wrist recently, and I could feel the energy centering there. So I totally related to, that meditation where we can send energy to where we want to heal or focus on.
I love that. Yes, it's so powerful. And I love it that it's making mainstream again. More and more
Yes.
people are talking about it, because it was back then, thousands of years ago, and then it kind of just got lost, and now it's making its way. And I just hope that that's why I start my podcast with this meditation, even if I touch one person to slow down for just a second and just notice and become a little bit more aware. And like you said, if they actually participate and send that energetic flow to that part of the body, they will notice a sense of ease. So yes, thank you for participating in it and bringing that up again, because it is very powerful. It really, really is. And it's not for everyone, or maybe it's not for everyone. They need to be ready to receive it, or at least open to it. So Anu, I actually don't force anyone to come to my breath work anymore, because I notice that if they're not ready to receive the beautiful medicine, because it is, right, this modality, then things don't go as well as maybe if they would have came on their own accord, ready to receive that the beautiful benefit.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more, because wow, that is quite, yes, you got the calling and from the meditation, and you were ready to do this. And it was your second business, was it, that you were starting?
Yes.
So you had some entrepreneurial experience, but what were some of the challenges? I mean, this is something, you loved art and there was passion behind that, but what were some of the challenges, or maybe the most challenging sort of setting this up, and how did you overcome it?
So I think one of the biggest challenges was working with people overseas. I was drawn to the art in Southeast Asia. I noticed that people follow a way of life, say Buddhism, and that's what the artists represent in their canvas. And that was a very unique story that I wanted to bring to the West. So just being introduced to the artists, we don't just go and pick up art on our travels. I do love to travel, by the way. So it was wonderful that I could marry the two, art and travel, in this new business. But it's challenging. We work with artists in Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. And I wanted to be introduced to specific artists who are upcoming or established, and learn their process, help promote them. So Singapore is like a melting pot. I had so many friends from so many different countries. So they were able to introduce me to these artists that they had either worked with. A lot of my friends did go to art school. So a lot of their friends came to art school and went back to their countries. Hence, I got those introductions. So just reaching out to the artists, learning about what they do, and then actually going across, spending time in their studios so we could effectively tell their story after having spent time with them. We meet their families. It's a very holistic process. There's also a vetting procedure in terms of the quality of the canvas, the quality of the paints. Will they withstand the temperature changes here? So, yeah, we bring the art back rolled up, and we get it stretched and framed here because We want to guarantee the quality of the wood. It's treated, it won't expand or contract in changes in temperature. So that was a bit of a challenge, just being able to speak and communicate with the artists, because there's an entire process that happens before we do make a trip. We do ask them to send art. I do go with pre-orders from here. So if someone asks me, I'm looking for a beautiful abstract for above my fireplace, these are the dimensions, and I'm looking for, say, blues and greens, I will ask the artists to send me what they have, or someone wants something for above their bed, something in their bedroom, like a bedroom piece of a man and a woman. So a horizontal piece, it's very specific. So I will ask them to send what they have. And it's just a communication process as well. So that can be quite challenging. It's not like I can walk down the road or drive across to a studio and say, okay, I'm here, let's see what you have. It's a 26-hour flight. A very long process, but very exciting. It's all part of the process of running the rural painter, but it can be challenging at times.
I can imagine for sure. So in terms of inspiring stories, is there a story from all of these painters that you have, artists that you have come across, a story that really, really still sticks, memorable?
Well, the first artist I began working with, his name is Ketut Budiawan, and he's from Indonesia. I was just drawn to his bold brush strokes and the fact that he combines the background with the foreground and creates abstracts, but he also manages to create form within the abstract. So you are seeing something. You're not leaving it to your imagination. I think that's truly commendable. His paintings make you think, and I love art that draws you in and makes you think. So he runs a program between Taiwan and Indonesia, wherein artists are in an exchange program, and they travel between countries, and there's an exchange of ideas, and artists incorporate the different cultures in their work. I found that fascinating, and I found that to be a great initiative taken by him, to kind of incorporate different cultures within the art. And I just loved the idea of community between the artists. There's no, so to speak, competition. They learn from each other. They help each other grow. So it's a coming together of just wonderful people.
Do you see the differences between the Southeast Asian countries? Because as you said, they incorporate their cultures and oftentimes their religion as well. Is it subtle, the differences, or are they very distinct?
So they are sometimes subtle and sometimes distinct, just the way the Buddha is portrayed. Buddhism is a way of life in a lot of these countries. So the artists tend to paint that. I think in Vietnam, where I'm going next month to get the new collection, artists are just painting beauty. Vietnam's been through a lot, and the artists have come together and they sit in a certain area that we visit in Da Nang in Vietnam. And it's just beautiful to walk through these areas. And we have about, I think, 7 or 8 artists that we work with. And so I've been in touch with them. We're leaving in the end of May, and they've been sending me what they're working on. They portray beauty and peace in their work, which is reflective of what Vietnam may have been through, but they're coming out of it now. I have a little story about a framer here in New Jersey where I live. I was taking the pieces to him rolled up, and I unrolled it and laid it out on his counter and said, I'd like your help with framing these. And his name's Peter, and he's in his 70s, a wonderful gentleman. And he said, where are these from? And I said, Vietnam. He's like, where in Vietnam? And I said, Da Nang. And his face just changed, and I knew I had touched a chord. And I just waited. And he said, I was deployed in Vietnam at the age of 17. And I saw a lot of terrible things. And it was a difficult moment for me. And I slowly rolled up the paintings and I said, I'm really sorry if, I've brought back some memories. And he said, no, I would love to work with you. Tell me more about Vietnam. And I told him that the artists were painting beauty. They were painting a vision of the future that looked beautiful. And they're just wonderful people. And I told him maybe to come full circle. It would be wonderful if he could visit Vietnam again, but he continued to help me with the framing of those paintings. He always asked me for stories about Vietnam, and we became very, very good friends.
Amazing. Wow, I got goosebumps after that story.
Yeah, that was an unexpected thing to happen, but I'm so glad I was able to help someone. Going back to your question, the countries do paint very specific things, like the artists in Chiang Mai in Thailand. Chiang Mai is up in the mountains, far away from Bangkok. Buddhism thrived there, but the artists are worried about global warming. So they paint their fears and their concerns, and you can see parts of the painting show an arid kind of faded green, and parts of the painting will be lush and green, which is their hope for the future.
So amazing. Incredible. Wow. Wow. And do you notice that there's a huge difference from North American artists? Or again, it's sort of the same formula, but of course, our culture and what we do here affects the painting, right? Or what we paint.
So I think artists are just very different people, and they paint from their soul. But the artists that I deal with in Southeast Asia, and what draws me to Southeast Asia, is the spirituality. It's the culture. I love that they speak about their culture with pride. They painted, we did an entire series on the Balinese dancer. Numerous artists paint various forms of the Balinese dancer, which is a very revered form of art in that country. And it's fascinating to see this lady in her traditional dress in various art forms and various poses. So I'd love to promote different cultures through the art, and maybe just make the world a little smaller through that process.
Yeah, for sure. And just curious, the buyers that are interested in these pieces, do they have a sort of a specific persona, or is it just really anyone that's interested? Curious about that.
Yeah, I think it's people come to me out of curiosity, but once they hear the stories behind the art, I think they leave with knowledge. Like, I'll find people come in and say, I'm looking for horses, or I'm looking for an abstract. But they leave with something completely different because it's speaking to them. I have people telling me that painting is calling to me, or when I passed this mandala from Nepal, I could feel a certain energetic pull. And that's what I love about what I do. It's just seeing that personal connection. I feel like I'm just a conduit. I just introduce people to the art, and then I stand back and watch the magic happen. So I think that's the best part of my job. It's really fulfilling to see that connection happen. I have a lot of clients who get back to me later. I had three Buddha heads in a metallic paint. They were beautiful. And a lady came in and she said to me, I see my past, my present, and my future in each of these Buddha heads. She sits by them and has her tea every morning, and it just brings calm to the beginning of her day. So it's lovely to hear these stories. Yes.
So beautiful. Yes. I mean, given that your guilty pleasure is retail therapy, how do you stop yourself from not buying them for you?
Oh my goodness. I love every painting that I buy. That's one very easy process for me to purchase the art. If it's not a pre-order, if I wouldn't hang it in my own house, I'm not going to bring it back. And I wouldn't be able to speak about it the way I do if I'm not passionate about it. So I fall in love with every single piece and bring it back. And I'm just happy when the art does find a home that it belongs to.
Yes. Like that painting behind you is gorgeous. I love it. What's the story behind that?
So that one is actually from Chiang Mai, Thailand. It's called Journey, and it's by an award-winning artist called Sangwan Noingen. He uses very thick layers of oil paints on a canvas. So he paints layer upon layer, which you may not be able to see on a screen. You can see the side of a dragon boat,
Right.
which his signature in each painting. You can see that structure. And he's painting monks who are leaving the comforts of daily life. Usually you'll see the back of monks because they're walking away from the comforts and pleasures of daily life in search of the truth. And so they'll be either heading towards the mountains and they usually are in communes. They walk together, they carry whatever they possess on their person, so they're carrying their bags. And he paints only in a certain color, different shades of brown. That differentiates his art, and it kind of makes the painting cohesive. There's no distraction of color, different colors being used. It kind of brings it together with just different shades of brown.
It's so beautiful. It's very, very, and it's on the screen. I could imagine in person, live, like looking at that. Very, very incredible. What a beautiful story. Oh, I love it. I'm just so intrigued. This is so far away from what I'm sort of used to. So that's why I'm just like, wow, this is so incredible. I do appreciate good art. And I've actually commissioned a few pieces as well. I had a really good friend who did abstract painting when I was living in Dubai. She was actually from Iran, so she did a few pieces for me. I like the abstract stuff. I do. I like leaving it to my imagination as well. Tell us a little bit about. If I know it's you definitely embody this very serene, calm, full woman. Have there been moments where you felt burnout in your career, in like transitioning from the one entrepreneurship journey to another? Obviously, even, keeping up with this, the ruler painter, have you experienced burnout? And what are some of the warning signs that maybe perhaps we can all watch out for?
I have experienced burnout over the years. We're now in our 8th year of business. I have also gotten older, handling those long flights, visiting the studios. Our trips are very intense. So I have found that when I come back, sometimes burnout shows up for me, not initially as exhaustion, more as numbness. When the things that light me up no longer light me up, that's a sign to me to just step back and maybe pause and just take a break. Like if the art doesn't light me up, or just meeting with my friends, I'm not that engaged. It's just paying attention to those little signs. And for me, it's more about being in nature. I love my meditations. I love walking in nature. I do something called earthing, where I walk on the grass barefoot and just connect to the negative ions of the earth and speak to the universe. And that is very refreshing to me. Just returning to that. Sometimes I forget. So just returning to those things that bring me joy and fill me up. Little things like staying hydrated. And I also am very mindful of who I surround myself with. As empaths, I think we do absorb energies, or we feel energies more than other people. So I'm very mindful about who I engage with and who I surround myself with. And I'm very quick to remove myself if I don't feel aligned.
I love that.
Because I don't want to carry that energy.
What if it's, that's great. What if it's a relative? What do you do then?
It took me a while to do this, but just setting up my boundaries. And it's not the easiest thing to do. You also don't want to hurt anyone. You don't want to create tension, but just setting up your boundaries and just the deep breaths that you took us through, just going through that before you are going to meet someone where that, there may be a shift in energy. I think just preparing yourself. So sometimes I do know, or, even when I have an art show, I have a home gallery, just saging the place. So just clearing energies. I think that always helps.
Yes, I love that. I was actually going to ask you, how do you protect, because we're such empaths. And, even especially after my breathwork experience where everyone's in a room, sometimes, 30 people in a room, and it's just it's hard not to absorb that energy. What do you do? What are your techniques? Do you also, so I sage everyone, or Palo Santo or Copal if I'm in Mexico, just to clear everyone's energy before we actually enter the room. I do the room itself, and then of course myself. But what if you don't have that available to you? Is there a technique that you use to help sort of protect your energy?
I play on my phone. There's a mantra that says "Mani Padme Hum." It's something that's repeated in mandalas in a lot of the paintings. I actually have one here. It's a little large, but if I can hold that up.
Wow, beautiful.
This is a mandala from Nepal, and I'm going to bring it a little closer. There's writing inside the circle.
Yes.
When I was at the Bodhanath Stupa in Kathmandu, I saw groups of monks circling the stupa or the monastery, and they were chanting Om Mani Padme Hum. And I was following them, and the air was so heavy with the energy of their chanting. And artists actually take that mantra and repeat it numerous times within the circle. So Om Mani Padme Hum is written numerous times in the circle, equivalent of it's being chanted, and it brings positive energies into its environment. So I will play that mantra in my environment to bring in those positive energies. And I usually have one of these paintings in a room where I'm sitting, because I do believe those positive energies come into our environment.
Yes. I might look into that a little further with you. I love that. That is beautiful. Where's the one that you just showed us? The piece. It's from where? Where is
Nepal.
it? Nepal. Very nice.
Yes.
And that's an oil painting?
So in the mandalas from Nepal, they're actually made with mineral paints. The artists, so they're very lightweight. They don't have the weight of oils or acrylics or canvas. They're very lightweight. The artists get the stones from the Himalayas. They crush them and they add plant-based derivatives to the stones that are crushed to create their own mineral paints for purity and sheen. And in the gold, they often add 18 or 22 karat gold to the paint to make it sacred. And so the art from Nepal is very unique. People take mandalas to activate certain areas of their house. So the health area is the southeast. So if they put a mandala there, it would activate the health area. I have a mandala in the southeast area just for the well-being of everyone in the family, or the relationship area, or the career area. You can activate these areas with the mandala.
So amazing. I love that. You're educating me on, I know about Feng Shui, but I had no idea that you can incorporate art and bring art in the Feng Shui.
It's energy of it.
Yes, yes, I love it. Yes, so interesting. And so, yeah, I definitely want to talk offline about that. That's something that I'd be interested in. So you talked about, because actually my question next would be, how do you balance it all? How do you balance, or maybe it's not balance, work-life balance, maybe it's something else, but how do you manage? Because of course you have personal life and priorities as well. So how do you do it, Anu?
So I'm very intentional about time. I don't always get it right, but I do schedule my week every Sunday. Like mornings are for mindfulness, the day is for work, evenings are usually with family. And sometimes I combine my trips to Southeast Asia with a family member. So we get to spend time together. I'm an empty nester. Both my kids have left home, so I do have time. But my daughter often travels with me to Southeast Asia. It's just great spending time with her in a completely different environment. And I've seen how it's opened her up. All this travel and spending time with artists and different cultures. She's just very open as a person to new experiences. So it is a balancing act, but I tend to kind of distribute my day accordingly.
Nice. So do you have certain days that you do things, or is it sort of across the board? The morning is the meditation, and then the work is during the day, and then the evening. Is it always like that? I'm just curious, because I was talking to a coach, and what she taught me was that very successful people have their day planned out from the morning to the evening, and the days of the week as well, because that is the only way we're going to get done, is if we actually calendarize it and schedule it. So I'm still working on that.
I try to. So on Sunday, I will do a brain dump of everything that needs to be done. And then I do categorize it throughout the week. I may not always follow it, but at least I have a loose plan. But I do have a lot of mindfulness involved in my day. Um, I'm also part of masterminds. Um, I love to hang out with people that I can learn from. So I'm part of a couple of masterminds and we will read books. So I have that time for reading. And then we meet regularly just to exchange, stories and issues or problems that we may be going through in our businesses or even our lives. So it's having a very close group of people around you and just tailoring your week for these meetings as well. There's a lot of marketing that goes into my work. I host a lot of events. I work with a lot of different charities. We take the art into the charity gala and they're auctioned there to help them raise funds for their cause. And we in turn go back and help the artists. So there's a lot of marketing involved. So usually my days are for marketing, social media, etc. And we host a lot of events on the weekends. So it is a busy schedule. So I am mindful about my rest. I'm a big massage person. I get regular massages. I love those. So.
Yes, they're so good. Which ones you like? You must get some amazing ones in Southeast Asia as well, right?
I do.
To be in your calendar when you go.
Absolutely. The Vietnamese massage is already in my calendar for next month, but I love the Balinese massage. The Thai massage is a little too energetic for me. I'm a more calm, peaceful kind of person, and Nepal, Sri Lanka, they're all amazing.
Yeah.
But I do get regular massages here in Princeton, New Jersey, just to keep everything flowing.
Yes, for sure. It just reminds me of my story when I went to Thailand. And of course, I had to get a massage, or I wanted. I get massages too. I love them. But actually, since I've been doing yoga for like a decade or more, I feel like I don't need them as much. But before my yoga practice, definitely like I was just feeling so tense. So yeah, in Thailand, I remember it was my first time. I didn't know what to expect. I knew they were intense, but I like it that way. So I'm on the bed, my face is down, and I see like her feet just sort of coming around. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, where are her feet? Where did she go? Is how I
on your back. Yes.
I was like, okay, I guess she's.
And they're little girls, but they're incredibly strong.
Strong, exactly. Yes.
Oh,
I love that. Any other self-care habits? I mean, you talked about quite a few, but any other that really help you stay grounded and also to help you recharge?
I'm being more mindful of the food that I eat as well. Just whatever I put in my body is definitely contributing to my energy levels, etc. So yes, I'm just mindful of, number one, the people I surround myself with and, the foods that I eat, hydration, very close to my kids. I speak to them almost every day. So that kind of fills me up and energizes me as well.
Okay.
So I'm just mindful of those things that really fill my cup. I'm drawn to them and I make sure they're a part of my day.
Yes, I love that, Anu. So important, so important. Of course, speaking to a nutritionist, I'm just like, yes, food is amazingly such another beautiful medicine that you can tap into. And I'm just curious because when I go to Mexico for the winters, I notice because the food is from there, right? All our avocados, most of our fruit that we get in Canada is actually from Mexico. And of course, when I'm there, it doesn't have to be picked, when it's not ripe. It's picked when it's right. So I make this avocado key lime pie. I swear to you, when I make it here, the avocado layer is like this. When I do it in Mexico, it's like on steroids. It's like double the size. And I feel so much better. My skin is glowing more. Do you find that when you go to Southeast Asia as well? I'm just curious. The food supply is obviously different there. And I don't think they spray their crops as much as we do here in North America. I'm just curious if you notice that.
Definitely. Well, I'm usually there for a period of 10 days to 2 weeks. I don't know if that's long enough for me to really see a difference, but the food is just so flavorful. It's not heavy. What I can say, home for me is Bombay in India. So I will go there for extended periods and I find that I am more energized and without exercising or doing anything, I just start losing weight. And I don't know how that happens. So I'm eating regular food. It's made at home. But I just feel so much better.
I agree. I totally agree. So if you had a full day to yourself with no responsibilities, how would you spend it, Anu?
I love the ocean. I hope one day to live near the ocean. I would wake up to the sound of waves. I would walk along the beach with a cup of tea in hand. I'm very particular about my tea. Start my day with my cardamom Indian chai. So I would have that and just read a book on the beach. It's all about being present in the moment. I'm still working on that, but I would just be present the entire day. A little retail therapy, walking through a marketplace. I think, the ocean just draws me. I would spend an entire day by the ocean.
I love that for sure. So therapeutic. Something about the sounds and just the waves and the coming in and out. It's just so therapeutic. Yes,
Yeah.
I need to leave. I need to live by an ocean as well. That's my plan too.
Let's put it out there.
Yes, exactly. Let's put it on our vision boards. I know. I think we talked a little bit when we had our sort of pre-conversation about this sort of recurring theme that keeps coming up during these conversations, and I'm curious because you're in a quite a different industry than the other women that I've been speaking to. So my question is, most of the women that I've been talking to, including myself, when I was living in Dubai, I felt like I had to live more in my masculine energy to be respected, to be taken seriously, to win those contracts. And I just felt like I had to dress the part. I had to tone down maybe my empathy or, my nurturing side. And I was operating really a lot from my masculine side. And I wasn't really noticing it until I came back to Canada and I had to really nurture my mom back to health and myself as well. I just embodied more of the feminine energy and it felt good. It felt really good. It felt like I was at home. And now I'm able to, of course, it's about balance and it's about sort of tapping into whenever it's needed. You have the feminine and you have the masculine. So we should really be using both and embodying both when necessary. In your industry, did you feel that? Have you felt that? Or is that something that maybe doesn't really apply? I'm curious to see in the industry that you're in.
So I think when I first started out, I've also evolved over time. When I first started out, I think I felt like I needed to toughen up a little bit, maybe act confident, maybe when I wasn't. But over time, I've just learned to be myself and come from a place of vulnerability and authenticity. And I think I lead better when I'm not trying to be someone that I'm not or trying to fit in. I think people also just accepted me. I think we play a lot of stories in our head that, I need to be strong and powerful for people to listen to me. I found that over time, if I was just authentic, true to myself, and came from my heart, people just appreciated it. Like we're getting into corporates now, and I'm dealing with a lot of the corporate world. We are renting the art to corporates. They can rent it on a monthly basis. So I'm dealing with a variety of different people who, as you said, may not really be exposed to the art world, but they're willing to listen if we give them a chance. They're willing to learn more. And when I come from that place of just wanting to tell the artist's story, I think that comes through with authenticity. I don't have to act like the tough, confident businesswoman. It's genuinely about telling these artists' stories and bringing beauty to a space. How can this help your employees? So it was taking it away from me, and putting the spotlight on how this can help your space and what we're doing to help these artists. I think that's what kind of brought it all together.
That is such a great idea to rent, because some of those paintings and just frames that are up in some of those offices are hideous and they're not motivating or at all. That is such a beautiful idea. I love that, renting these pieces in corporations. Very, very cool.
Well, that's what we're hoping. Make it something wherein you run surveys and ask your employees what they want to see on the wall. And we can rotate the art. We can change it every 3 to 6 months. What do you want to see next? Make it an inclusive thing. So, because they're coming to work every day, they're spending a large part of their day there. Surround yourself with beauty.
I agree. I so agree. Yes. You mentioned something that you evolved over the years. Maybe if you can just walk us through how you feel you did that and where are you at now?
So I think it's all part of being on the spiritual path. I used to be a little uncertain about myself, not so confident, but I think it's also age. You grow into your own person. You're confident of who you are. And I think if you stay on that path of being true to yourself, I think you just grow into the person you're meant to be.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And let me ask you, how old is your daughter?
She's 20. She's in college. She's a sophomore in college.
Beautiful age, beautiful age. I like how you said that it does come with experience and life experience in order for you to feel more comfortable in your own skin. But what are your thoughts if, let's say, even your daughter, if we sort of educate her and let her know that it's okay, just be authentically you, do you feel like they still have to go through that life experience? Or can we, expedite that spiritual awakening? What are your thoughts?
So, yeah, I mean, I talk to her regularly, and she's going through whatever any teenager, post-teenager goes through, just with friends and a heavy schedule in college. But I think what you do is very important. Just the breath work. If she's stressed, I just ask her to breathe. I always ask her if she's had enough water, because I think just dehydration creates so many issues that we don't know about. Just a big glass of water can sometimes take care of that headache or whatever you're going through. And I always tell her to keep her focus on the big goal. Why is she there? And what does she want to achieve? People will come and go from your life. And what have you learned from that situation? Don't try not to repeat mistakes, but just learn and move on. But I tell her never lose sight of that big picture. And the things will fall away if you stay focused on that goal. So yeah, sometimes she listens, sometimes she doesn't listen. And that's her journey. But as long as my kids know we're always here for them. They have to go through their experiences and learn from them, but they always have that fallback.
Which is very nice and comforting to hear. So speaking of 20-year-olds, what advice would you give your younger self?
Oh my goodness. And I wish someone had told me this. You hold the pen in your hand, so you can write your future with that pen. Don't let anyone write it for you. I really wish someone had told me that. When you try to conform and fit in and do things that, don't make you feel good about yourself or authentic, you will see those results. And I think as a part of growing, we all have to go through things to reach a certain place. But had I known that I have the pen and I can create my own future just by writing on those blank pages, I think I would have written things a little differently.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you. That's beautiful, beautiful, inspiring words for anyone listening. And it's never too late as well. You can always pick up that pen at any stage once you have the awareness and the intention to just change your story, which you can.
Absolutely.
I love that. So what's one rule you've joyfully broken, Anu, on your way to where you are now?
The one that I have joyfully broken is the rule that you have to specialize in one thing.
I love it.
Yes, I think we're multidimensional beings. And it took me a while, but now I know that I can be a businesswoman, an artist, a traveler, a mom, a wife, a daughter, all of those things. Maybe not at the same time, but I can be everything. I don't have to pick one or focus on one. I can focus on all of them. So it took me a while to get there, but yeah, the freedom to play multiple roles and enjoy each one.
Yes, I love this. Yes, and I needed to hear this. So thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very much on that page at when people say, but you need to specialize. But I'm like, but I don't want to. I want to do nutrition and I want to do breath work and I want to do workplace wellness consulting. But yes, you need to focus on one. And that's something that I keep hearing from all my mentors, just focus on one, master one. I feel like I mastered them all. They're just focus, focus, focus. So I have made more intention to really pursue the breath work and the breath work experiences and the coaching, integration coaching and all of that. But I'm really, really loving it. It's really feeding my soul. So in a way, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do this for however long it does that. And then I can always switch to those other areas, right? Or at least, dedicate more time to those other areas. But for now, yes, I am really passionate about the breathing and the breath work. But I love that because that's all they want us to do, just coming out of school, right? It's just like specialize. And you're 18 years old and you're supposed to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. I think that is so much pressure on these kids. It's crazy. So when people ask me, would you ever go back? I'm like, hell no. No, I'd love where I am right now. And no, I wouldn't go back. It is a lot of pressure. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Yes.
You brought that up. I'm really, really glad you shared that with us. So you've given so many beautiful pieces of advice already, Anu, but is there something that you want to maybe perhaps share to specifically high performing women that are feeling maybe in these uncertain times that it's hard to cultivate that resilience? Is there something that maybe you can share with us on how to do that? How can they cultivate resilience in challenging, uncertain times?
I think it's just taking time for yourself, making sure that you find that time for yourself. I know if I don't take time for myself, I'm a very different person. Knowing that I love art, I want to be surrounded by art all the time. It brings me peace. I think that helps me face whatever else may be coming at me. We all have things thrown at us all the time. Just recognizing what centers you and staying in that centered state just helps you navigate whatever may be thrown at you. So just knowing, what brings you peace. And even if you spend a few minutes with that, like for you, Rita, it's breath work. For me, it's looking at a painting and wondering, I wonder why the artist did that, or, it's trying to know more. That really fills me up. So just doing that one thing that we all love, or starting our day that way, and then knowing that at the end of the day, it's all going to be okay. We don't have to carry it into tomorrow. And I think I live with the knowing that everything is going to be okay. And somehow things do figure themselves out.
So true. I often mention Louise Hay and her beautiful affirmations, and a very popular one that everything always works out for my highest good.
Yes.
And I started really diving into affirmations, and they're so powerful. And this one is just really, it's therapeutic. It really is. And at the end, it always works out. And, my mom always says there's a remedy for everything except death, but everything. You'll find a solution. It'll come to you. It'll work itself out. It'll be okay. And yes, I feel like we need to bring this onto ourselves a little more. Like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I love that. Finding something that centers you. Yes, yes. And why do you think for most women, I would argue, it's difficult to find that center or find what really centers them?
I think we're pulled in so many different directions all the time. I do remember when my kids were younger, I had a job, and, you're just pulled in so many different directions. But I would remember to meditate, even if I'm waiting in the car while my kid's in a class.
Yeah.
I would just meditate in that moment, just turn on the tape while I was alone, just get that massage, just get that person to look after your kids so you can go out in the evening. Just capturing those few moments. We often tend to forget that we can do it. We need to allow ourselves to just enjoy our lives. I mean, I tell my daughter all the time, it's not selfish to put yourself first. Because no one had ever said that to me. It took me a while, but I tell her, if you don't fill your own cup, you're not going to be able to fill anyone else's. So put yourself first. Think about yourself first. Even with me, put yourself first and then come to me and when you're happy. So I think we need to give ourselves permission as women. We often forget that. Or we're guilty when we're having a good time.
Yes. And I often hear my clients say, well, my children are first. I got to prioritize them. And then once they don't need me as much anymore, then, then I'll take care of myself. And I'm like, no, because, you have daughters, and what are you teaching your daughters? Like, to do the same thing and just become these martyrs, which is not sustainable. And something's got to give, right? Whether it's your health or maybe your relationships, your marriage, right? So it's just, yes, I do agree with that. You can find the time in these maybe unexpected places, sort of what we call habit stacking, where you're already doing something. So you might as well just stack something else, like waiting in line, red lights. I love red lights now. I'm like, yes, red light, time to do some breath work. Time to do some humming, yes, the red light, folding laundry, which I hate, loading the dishwasher, like all of these things. These are micro moments where you can be present, and just, it's a practice. So helping yourself get used to it and practicing it, and then feeling so good after, because you took those moments to be present. So yes.
Absolutely. Just play your favorite music while you're going about your day and doing your chores. Music is just a mood changer, anything to do with the arts, I think,
dancing.
Yes, absolutely. Dance while you're folding the laundry.
Yes, why not?
Why not?
So how do you see the role of women in leadership evolving from your experience?
So I think women bring an emotional intelligence to the table, which is so needed in the world right now. I think we need a little more compassion. We need, a little more heart-centered decisions in our day-to-day lives. I think the role of the woman is only going to, I think it's necessary. I think to just bring people together and let them know that we care. I don't think enough people feel that. So I think it's a very important role, and I think it's only going to evolve and get stronger and stronger. At least I hope it does.
Yes. So what is your legacy, Anu? What do you hope to leave for the next generation of women leaders?
Well, through my work, I hope to leave beauty in people's spaces, something that helps them pause during a hectic day and just helps them reflect, just takes them to a different place. A lot of people have a piece of art up because it takes them to a different place in their lives. So if I can be responsible for a little smile on their face, or that, that wonderful pause, or just helping center them for a few minutes, I think that would be a wonderful legacy.
Yes, I love it. It's beautiful, beautiful legacy. And you're definitely well on your way to doing that. And as you were describing the benefits of having a piece of art, I'm like, wow, that can totally apply to breath work as well. It's beautiful. You're right. It can disrupt if somebody's having whatever it is, maybe negative emotions or low vibrating emotions. I don't want to label them negative or positive, but lower vibrating emotions, or if they're experiencing something that is not pleasant and uncomfortable, they can instantaneously change their state by looking at a piece of art. And that's the same story with breath work as well.
Absolutely. Just incorporating these little things into your life can really make a big change.
Yes, in very, very simple ways. And of course, the awareness has to be there, right? The awareness and the intention. And they need to embrace it as well. Because some people might say, what are you talking about? I don't see it. It's not bringing me anywhere. I'm here, So I think it also needs that very similar sort of person that will embrace it and approach
absolutely.
it in this way. So if you could have lunch with any woman, past or present, who would it be, Anu, and why?
So I'm a big Oprah fan. I've always been a big Oprah fan. I remember the kids used to come home from school and I'd sit them down with their snack so that I could watch the Oprah show. So I just love what she's built and what she stands for. And having achieved it all, she's still empowering women. Till today, she's stayed true to her mission. And that's what I take away from her. She's just leaning back and helping so many women come up. And I think there's not enough women who do that. I think when women do reach a certain stage, I wish everyone would lean back and just take a hand and pull it up. I think she has consistently done that, and I admire her for that. So I would love to sit down, have lunch, and just pick her brain about the masterpiece of a life that she's created and how she got through the tough times and what brought her to where she is today.
Very, very cool. Yes, that would be an interesting, beautiful conversation. So you might have answered this one, but maybe you have a different answer as we progress through the conversation. But what's a book, a quote, or mantra that has profoundly impacted your life?
So I like Rumi a lot. He has a quote wherein he speaks about just being open to what the universe, I don't know the exact words, but just being open to what the universe is sending towards you, because it always is for your highest good, and just trusting and believing that. Sometimes we may not agree with what's coming our way, or we may question it, but just go with the flow. When you go with the flow, everything sorts itself out. Whenever I've had challenging moments in my life, I tend to say I'm probably exactly where I need to be right now. Just accept it and go with the flow, even if you don't agree with it. And it kind of sorts itself out.
And at least it just dissolves the anxiety and the pressure and the stress to having to figure it all out. Nothing beats a good night's sleep. You can't figure it out.
I agree.
Go to sleep. So if what does success mean to you at this stage of your life and career?
So at this point, I think success means I'm very fortunate to be able to choose my own schedule. Very fortunate to do what I love to do. And in my mind, success means just having the freedom. I think to be able to work from anywhere that I want. I feel that's success in my mind, not having to bend to someone else's schedule. And just leaving the world a little happier than it was. I think spreading the joy. If anyone can feel what I feel with even one piece of art, I think I've achieved success.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. We are moving to those fun rapid fire questions. Sometimes it's just one word. Sometimes just keep it light and fun before we wrap up this beautiful conversation. Anu, one word to describe you as a leader.
Intuitive.
If your leadership style, speaking of dancing before, were a dance move, what would it be?
I think it would be a flowing waltz, wherein I always try to be in flow. So I would probably be just moving with energy, but also be connected to everyone else.
I love it. I love it. Have you tried ecstatic dance, Anu? Did we talk about
I have
this?
not. I've not even heard about it. I'd love to know more.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. So I was introduced, Toronto has quite a few, but I never really went. But when I went to the Mayan, Mexico, there's all kinds of things going on there to embody your feminine, and the ecstatic dance is just that. So you basically, there is beautiful music, by the way, DJs that actually specialize in ecstatic dance, and it's just very flowy, depending on where they're from. There could be some like tribal, shamanic, and really even Southeastern music. Like they just really blend all of this. And there's no speaking. So when you're on the dance floor, there's no talking, and you're literally just either in flow with yourself. So you can close your eyes and do your thing, or you can dance with other people, but without any talking. And you're really present. Like you're not allowed to use cell phones. Obviously, there's no alcohol. It's alcohol free. And it's so cool because you're just, you feel so released, like such, whether it's emotional, mental, physical release, whatever it is that you're feeling. Every time I leave, I'm just like, this feels so nice. You're just, whatever feels like moving, you kind of move and no one's judging, no one's looking. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful experience. I am sure there'll be some in your area.
I'm going to look for it.
Yeah. Oh, and it's people of all ages. So like, don't think it's just for like the young people, like everyone is going, males, females. It's just and it's a huge community as well of ecstatic dancers and communities across the world. So it's such a powerful modality.
It's amazing. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, no problem. So I think you answered this one, but let's see. Morning person or night owl?
So I think I'm more of a night. There's something reflective about sitting in the stillness of the night. It's just hearing those sounds and everyone's gone to sleep. And I just love journaling. I'm a big journaling person. So I love to journal about the day. And I look forward to the night just to be able to do that.
Okay. Mountains or oceans? I think we know this one too.
Yes, definitely oceans. Yes, the endless ocean and the possibilities. Oh my goodness.
Very nice. Pizza or pasta?
Probably pizza, handmade with fresh herbs. But
awesome. You have to come over and I'll make some for you. I'm really mastering gluten-free, so hopefully that'll be mastered very soon. And if you were a kitchen appliance, speaking of being in the kitchen, which one would you be and why?
I think I'd be a blender. I think just bringing together different ingredients and ideas and cultures, and I think I'd love to blend, a lot of things together about what I do and where I go and who I meet. So I think I identify with a blender.
I love it. So what's your oddly specific superpower? Like always finding the best parking spot or picking the fastest grocery line? Is there an oddly specific superpower?
I think it's finding the best artisan coffee shop in every place that I visit. I love coffee shops. I love going and hanging out there. And I tend to find one in every city that I go to.
Love it. Love it. And if you can instantly master one skill, Anu, just like that, what would it be?
I wish I knew how to learn languages so I could have a deeper connection with many of the artists.
Right.
A lot of times I do use a translator, but I would love to be able to speak with them directly.
Yes. Which one would you choose first?
Probably Bahasa. That's the language spoken in Indonesia. So I would love to be able to hear the artist's story straight from the artist.
Yes. Yeah. So nothing gets lost in translation, right?
Yes.
So what is next on your bucket list, Anu? Immediately and then maybe 10 years from now?
So immediately I'm working on a collection centered around mindfulness and meaning. Most of my art is centered around mindfulness, but we're trying to spread the message of cultures and why people should know about different cultures. It helps us understand where people are coming from. And I think art is a great way to do that. So I think we're becoming more intentional about the collections that we bring back and the stories that we tell. So currently, the collection that we bring back from Vietnam, I think it's going to be more heart-centered and very reflective of the local culture. 10 years down the line, well, I've always had this vision from the day I started the Rural Painter of having a cafe, an international cafe, wherein we would visit different countries. Say for 3 months, we'd have Nepal, and we'd display art from Nepal. We'd have foods from Nepal, maybe singers from Nepal. And it would be a culturally immersive experience for people. And then we'd move to Vietnam and then Indonesia. So people actually learn the different kinds of foods against the backdrop of art and music.
I love it. Please do invite me to that as well, because then you get to experience it with all of your senses. That cultural experience becomes so enhanced. Yes, love it, love it. Are there places that do this? I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, I have displayed my art in various retail spaces, like coffee shops and restaurants and things, but I don't think the food was reflective or the music. I want it to be an immersive cultural experience. Maybe even have someone come and talk, about that culture, because I'm constantly learning and I love evolving that way. So I'd like to, open that up to many more people.
Yes, I'm fascinated with cultures and visiting. I visited 34 countries now. So yeah, I'm big on that. Yes, I just find them so fascinating to how different we are, but then how similar too, especially like the sayings and the proverbs. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute, we have that in Italian. Like when I was in the Arab world, like so many of the sayings, I'm like, wow, that's incredible. We have the same saying or proverb or teaching, very, very similar. So it's interesting how at the end of the day, we are a melting pot too. We're just so similar too. It's quite fascinating to see that. The differences and then the similarities.
Just to add to what you just said, I have a painting from Indonesia. It's on my website. It's called Community, and this artist paints groups of people coming together to meditate to raise global consciousness. It's a gorgeous piece, and it sits in my living room right now. He will paint people standing together meditating, but he never completes the legs. They kind of just fade, because if he completes the legs, they're individuals. And he says we are all connected. So he does not complete them. So I thought that was so fascinating to have that kind of a story behind a painting.
Yeah.
So he'll paint the body up till maybe the waist, and then it just drops below that.
Oh, I can't wait to check that out on your website. That sounds really interesting. Yes.
Yeah, it's exactly what you just said.
Yes.
Reminded me of the painting.
A beautiful story. So if you can gift every woman listening and watching one thing, so tangible or not, think Oprah, you get a car, you get a car, you get a car. What would it be for you?
Gosh, I would love to be able to gift everyone a work of art one day. I think that would be amazing. It would be a start for everyone. But right now, I think just to let everyone know that your dreams are worthy. They definitely are worthy. Continue on that path. Follow your passion. It's not just a line. I truly mean that. Whatever you dream of, it is achievable. So do truly believe that.
Thank you. So beautiful. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you want to share with us? If people can stay connected, where's the best way?
So I'm on socials. My website is theruralpainter.com and Instagram at theruralpainter. You can reach me via email, theruralpainter@gmail.com. I'd love to connect with people, any questions you have. But yeah, I love that we've started this new arm to the business of renting art. You can just rent it on a monthly basis, try it out, see if you like it. It's a great way to try a new piece. So it's all on my website. Please do go and check it out. Thank you so much, Rita, for this opportunity. I've loved chatting with you.
Thank you. This was so heartfelt. And thank you for reminding us that life truly is unwritten, and it's a blank canvas that we get to co-create with purpose, with energy, with heart, with intention. So thank you so much for such an enlightening, so many beautiful golden nuggets as well that you shared with us. And yes, I have a very new perspective, much more respected perspective of art. And yes, I can't wait to dive deeper into some of the things that we talked about today for my own purpose and my own involvement as well. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to just be here today with my community. I so appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. I look forward to doing some breath work with you as well. I mean, taking that further. Absolutely.
Yes, I'm so excited for you to try the breathwork journey as well. Take care. Have a beautiful, beautiful day.
Thanks.
Thank you for joining us on Uplift Her Leadership Series, a special segment of the Self-Care Goddess podcast. If this conversation lit something up in you, please share it with a fellow change maker, and let's keep building a new model of leadership together. Follow me on ritasavoya.com and stay connected for more conversations that blend well-being, wisdom, and bold feminine leadership. Until next time, breathe mindfully, live intentionally, thrive gracefully, and remember, self-care is your superpower. Ciao for now.